right, 20 yards, dolphin kick on the stomach, fast as you can. Ready? Along with having tremendous ankle flexibility, leg strength, and athleticism, Maggie's secret to her dolphin kick technique is keeping a very tight, fast kick, working in both directions. However, there's always room for improvement. Each time we observed Maggie's dolphin kick, we noticed she would glide off the wall before initiating her first kick, as so many swimmers do. At the race club, we've used our velocity meter technology, comparing them taking a glide off the wall with using no glide at all, up kicking right away. All right, let's do the same thing this time. As soon as your toes leave the wall, kick up against your vortex, okay? Ready? The first VM study we did with Maggie was with her up kicking right away, taking no glide off the wall. Down below you see it peaked, the peak force is right here. When her knees are still bent, she's pushing hard. This is when the force is the greatest. And then when she reaches her peak velocity right here, her toes have already left the wall. But she doesn't glide here. Notice what happens with her feet. As she comes forward, she starts to move them up immediately into the body vortex, and she gets a little bit of an uptick in her velocity, followed by the knee bend where she decelerates and drops down to 1.57 meters per second. That's as slow as she gets. And then she goes back up after the down kick to 2.5, again, right where she started from. So she's holding on to that speed really well. And then from there, she goes into an up kick and then another down kick out to 3 meters, where we measure that 1.38 seconds. We'll take her through that in slow motion. Now watch her as she comes off, she lifts up right into the kick, no hesitation, holds on to her speed. Now this is the one where she glides, okay? So we'll take her back just a second. You can see that her peak acceleration is a little bit, or force is a little bit earlier here as she's pushing off, but she reaches the same peak velocity here, almost 2.43 versus 2.5. But now from here, notice what happens with her velocity as she just slowly, kind of steadily declines. The speed gets slower and slower, and then she bends her knees for the first down kick. And we measured the angle of her knee bend on this first down kick. It was 70 degrees. With the earlier study, she only bent to 60 degrees. So there's 10 more degrees of knee bend. But look at her trough velocity here, 1.26 meters per second. Quite a bit slower than she was when she kicked right away. Now she goes through a strong down kick, just like she always does, but she only gets back to 2.37 meters per second as opposed to 2.5 meters per second that she had with no glide at all. So we have the exact same distance traveled. It takes her 1.46 versus 1.38 seconds. Quite a bit difference in time, 0.08 seconds slower. There's no better way to appreciate the difference in the two techniques between no glide and a glide off the wall than doing a side-by-side video comparison. Now on the video on the left, Maggie takes no glide at all, starting her up kick right away. But on the video on the right, she glides for approximately a half a second before she initiates her up kick. On the left screen, on the green curve above, you see that she reaches a trough velocity, the lowest velocity coming off the wall, of 1.57 meters per second. But on the right, as she delays that up kick, she actually troughs at a lower value of 1.26 meters per second, and her knee bend is approximately 10 degrees more than it was when she took no glide at all. As a result, it takes her 0.08 of a second longer in the right video to reach 3 meters. Another way to look at this is without the graphs is by looking at her above and below, where she's actually competing against herself. In this case, we've synchronized these two videos. The one above, she takes no glide off the wall. the one below, she glides for approximately half a second. So you see that we synchronize them so the toes leave the wall exactly at the same time. Now, at this point, they're almost even, if you look at their hands, but she starts that up kick right away with the top video, and she starts to pull ahead. And by the time she's taken her second kick, she takes her first kick on the below video. But look where her hands are now in comparison to where she would have been without taking that kick right away.